We've all heard of the Shroud of Turin. We've read about the resurrection, but no one has ever seen the moment it happened. The instant when death turned to light, and light left its memory on cloth. How was that sacred image formed? Was it fire, energy, or something beyond what we call light itself? For centuries, the question has lingered in silence, hidden within the folds of an ancient linen. But now, one filmmaker dares to bring that moment to life. Mel Gibson, the mind behind The Passion of the Christ, returns with a vision that ventures where scripture falls silent. Inside the tomb itself, what did the dawn of eternity look like? What did the world's first light feel like when it passed through flesh and stone? Today, we will witness how Mel Gibson reimagines that impossible instant. The creation of the shroud, the birth of divine light, and the first frame of the greatest miracle in history. A cold, heavy silence fills the air. You can almost hear the echo of your own breathing. The camera moves slowly through the entrance of a stone tomb. The air is thick with dust. The light of a dying torch fades behind us. Only darkness ahead. Lying on a stone slab is the body, wrapped tightly in linen, still, lifeless. The wounds on the wrists and feet have bled through the cloth. It's quiet. Too quiet. Mel Gibson wants the audience to feel this silence. Not just hear it. Feel it in their chest. This isn't peace, it's the weight of death. A single fly lands near the stone. A drop of water falls from the ceiling, that's all. Then, something subtle changes. The camera moves closer to the wrapped face. For a moment, nothing. Then, almost too soft to notice, a flicker. Deep beneath the layers of linen. It's not fire, it's not sunlight. It's a kind of light that has no direction. It glows from inside. The shot lingers. You don't understand what you're seeing yet, but your instincts say something impossible is happening. The air seems to tremble. A low sound builds. Not music, just vibration. Like the earth taking a breath. Dust lifts off the ground and floats. The edges of the linen begin to move, as if caught in a gentle wind. Though there is none, now the light grows. It pushes outward, slowly at first. A soft, golden hue that seeps through the weave of the linen. Then stronger, whiter, more focused. It's as if every cell of the body beneath has become a spark, each one releasing a burst of energy all at once. The fabric tightens. The light pours through it, flooding every fiber, every thread. It's blinding, but clean. No flame, no smoke, just pure radiance. The camera zooms in, impossibly close. We see the fibers themselves stretch and twist under the brilliance, as if the light is writing something onto them. Each filament burns with detail, lines of a face, shadows of hair, contours of bone. The light is not just escaping, it's recording. The moment builds, a heartbeat, then another, and suddenly, the tomb erupts in silent intensity. The walls blaze white. Every crack, every stone, every grain of dust becomes visible, suspended in air. The body disappears in the explosion of brightness, but its image, its memory, stays behind. The light does not destroy the cloth. It imprints it. The heat, the energy, the holiness, all condensed into a single flash that brands the fabric with the outline of a man. Then, just as quickly, it's gone. The glow collapses inward, swallowed by silence. The linen settles back onto the stone, but the body beneath is gone. No dramatic sound, no thunder, just the quiet hum of something beyond human understanding. The camera doesn't cut away. It holds, forcing the audience to face what just happened. A faint, ghost-like image now lies on the cloth. A face, peaceful, the eyes closed, the mouth calm. Outside, the sky begins to turn pale blue. Birds start to sing. Inside the tomb, the linen rests, soft, ordinary, and yet no longer just cloth. It carries light that once lived, the moment when eternity touched the world. It has become a witness. Outside, the horizon is still gray. The wind has stopped. The world doesn't know yet that something has changed. Inside the tomb, smoke like dust hangs in the air, slowly settling after the burst of light. The camera moves through it, revealing the slab, the folded linen, the emptiness where a body once lay. The silence that follows is heavier than before. It feels sacred now, not cold. The lens lingers on the shroud. At first it looks blank. Then, as the light outside begins to rise, faint details emerge, shapes hidden in the fibers. A shadow where no shadow should be. Mel Gibson keeps the camera still. He doesn't need music or words. The image itself starts to tell the story. The morning light creeps closer, reaching the entrance of the tomb. It spills across the floor, soft and slow, until it touches the edge of the linen. The glow from outside mixes with the faint energy that still clings to the cloth. And suddenly, the surface seems to come alive again. The audience begins to see it, the outline of a face, not drawn, not burned, but imprinted. The light catches the curves of the cheeks, the lines of the brow, the trace of a beard. It's faint, fragile, almost too real. The shot moves closer. The fibers shimmer, like they're holding the last breath of the light that made them. The weave of the cloth carries subtle shadows, each one part of a greater pattern. It's not paint, not stain, it's information, locked into thread. For a moment, the audience doesn't breathe. The air in the tomb feels alive again, still quiet, but charged. Gibson cuts to a wider shot. The tomb is bathed in early sunlight. The wind outside stirs, carrying faint sounds of birds and distant footsteps. The world is waking up. Then, something small, almost invisible. The linen rises slightly from the slab, as if lifted by the warmth of the dawn. Dust dances above it, spinning in little spirals of gold. The camera moves under the drifting dust, catching the light that filters through it. The image of the man on the shroud glows, not bright, but deep, like a memory just beneath the surface. It's not an image made by death. It's the signature of life returning. The camera follows the sunlight crawling across the walls, finding the bloodstains, the cracks in the stone, the empty place where the body had been. It feels real, solid, almost human, the way a miracle might truly look if you were standing there. A breeze from the entrance touches the cloth. It ripples gently. The sound is soft, like a breath. The director lets that sound linger. No choir, no music, just the faint hiss of air moving over linen. And for a few seconds, nothing else happens. The miracle is complete. The light outside grows stronger, flooding the tomb with warmth. The cloth settles again, still, calm, changed forever. The morning is breaking. Jerusalem begins to wake in the distance. The quiet shuffle of sandals. The first cries of traders setting up their stalls. But here, in this rocky garden, time still feels suspended. The tomb stands open. The stone that once sealed it has been rolled aside. There's no sound now except the wind brushing past the olive leaves. The camera moves inside again. Dust floats in the sunlight, drifting like thin smoke. The slab is empty. Only the linen remains, folded neatly at the edges, soft, weightless, untouched by decay. The audience sees it in full daylight for the first time. The linen isn't glowing anymore, but it carries something deeper. The faint image burned into its fibers. From far away, it looks like nothing. But as the camera glides closer, the shapes come alive. A face, calm, peaceful, the marks of agony still visible, yet transformed into something beautiful. It's not a painting, not a shadow. It's as if the cloth remembered the light that passed through it. Gibson doesn't hurry. He lets the camera move with the rhythm of breath, slow, deliberate. The viewer becomes a witness, standing in that tomb, watching the evidence of a miracle that left no noise, no spectacle, only truth. The shroud flutters slightly as a soft breeze moves through the open entrance. Dust motes sparkle in the beam of sunlight cutting across the floor. Each sparkle seems alive, echoing the light that once filled the chamber. Then, faintly, we hear footsteps outside passing, hesitant, uncertain. The camera pans to the entrance. Shadows appear on the ground. Mary Magdalene steps in. Her hands tremble as she clutches the edge of her veil. The air inside the tomb seems to change the moment she crosses the threshold. Cooler, stiller, like she's walked into another world. Her eyes fall on the slab. There's no body, just linen. For a moment, she can't move. The sound fades. Only her breathing remains. She kneels beside the cloth. Her fingers hover above it but don't touch. Her voice breaks in a whisper. Not words, just a sob too quiet to echo. The camera catches her reflection in the polished surface of the stone, her tears, and, faintly, the image on the shroud behind her. For the first time, the two faces share the same frame, one of grief, one of peace. Mary stares at the image, unable to look away. She doesn't understand what she's seeing. Not yet, but something deep inside her knows. The light shifts again. Sunlight floods the entrance, painting the walls in gold. The image on the linen becomes clearer. The air feels alive, charged, trembling. Mary's expression changes. Her sorrow softens into awe. She covers her mouth with her hands, gasping quietly as the realization sinks in. He is gone, but not lost. The camera rises slowly behind her, showing the full tomb, the empty slab, the folded cloth, the open door, flooded with light. Gibson doesn't end the scene with words or music. He ends it with silence, the kind that feels full instead of empty. Outside, a bird takes flight. Its wings flash through the sunlight, carrying the sound of life into the still air. The storm is gone, leaving behind a strange quiet, a kind of calm that feels too deep to be ordinary. The olive trees sway gently. The air is cool, heavy with the smell of wet earth and stone. It's early morning in Jerusalem. The city hasn't yet awakened to what has happened. Smoke rises slowly from distant hearths. Dogs bark somewhere far off. Life is beginning again, unaware that history itself has just shifted beneath its feet. The garden around the tomb stretches in silence. Broken branches, crushed flowers, footprints hardened in the mud. Everything still carries the memory of the storm and the crucifixion, the violence, the sorrow, the unbearable night. But now, the light feels different. It doesn't fall on the world. It seems to rise from within it. Dew glitters on the grass like scattered glass. The morning sun climbs higher, golden and soft, wrapping everything in warmth. It's not harsh. It feels almost alive. Every shadow retreats, every color deepens. We see the tomb from the outside, the dark entrance now glowing faintly from within. The same light that once filled it seems to breathe outward, spilling into the garden. The air shimmers slightly, bending around the stones and branches. Then, a gust of wind moves through the olive trees. Slow, steady, almost like a heartbeat. Leaves stir, dust rises, and for a moment, the garden seems to hold its breath again, as if recognizing the change. A lone bird lands on a branch near the tomb. It tilts its head, watching the open doorway. There's no fear, no sound, only quiet acknowledgement, as if even the smallest creature can sense what human eyes have not yet seen. Inside, the folded cloth glows faintly under the sun's reflection. The light touches the edges of the image on the linen, making the face seem to wake again. Gentle, peaceful, immortal. The whole hillside bathed in the new light of morning. The air feels cleaner, the sky sharper. The pain of the last 3 days seems to fade beneath the weight of dawn. Somewhere in the distance, a shepherd's flute begins to play. Faint, almost accidental, but it carries across the fields like a fragile thread of life returning to the earth. The clouds are thin now, edged in gold. The same light that left its mark on the shroud now burns above the horizon, touching the city walls, the rooftops, the temple stones. Jerusalem looks ordinary, but for the first time, it feels different. As if the world itself has been quietly rewritten, showing the tomb, the garden, and the light stretching endlessly beyond them. No voices, no explanation, just the quiet truth. Something happened here, something that broke the silence of creation. Mel Gibson's vision for the resurrection has never been about spectacle. What he wants, above all, is for audiences to stand inside the silence of the tomb and feel the weight of what happened there. He believes that faith is not born from explanations but from encounter, from facing the mystery long enough for it to speak. To Gibson, the shroud is more than a relic. It's the first witness. It carries the memory of light itself, proof that love did not end on the cross. His hope is that viewers leave the film not with easy answers, but with a renewed sense of awe, a recognition that the resurrection was not a distant myth, but a real, human moment that still echoes through every life touched by grace. Behind the intensity of his direction is a deeply personal conviction that beauty and truth belong together, and that cinema can still make people believe in both. The resurrection is his prayer in images, a plea for the world to look again at the face imprinted on that cloth and see, in it, the reflection of its own longing to rise.